So I spoke on when I first got my hair braided because when I first started growing my hair after I got shot, I had already had like a mini fro, but then I got my hair braided by like January, February 2015. It was this light skinned chick that I had met at the Walmart, I think, Super Center, the grocery store. And she was with this dark skinned thick chick that she told me she played like in a McDonald's game or something like that back in Detroit. Because when I told her I was from Detroit, she told me she also lived in Michigan and she was from Detroit. But I didn't get her number. I ended up getting a light skinned girl number. And then there was this other lady that I approached probably like a few months after that. And she was thick also. And then the light skinned chick who number I had got had walked up like, "Hey, what's up?" And she said, "No, I ain't worried about you. I'm focused on her." She was talking about the girl she was with. So I don't know if that light skinned girl had like girls or not, but she used to basically braid my hair. Right after I got shot, I had showed her the pictures like of like my car, and she was asking me if I was in a gang and shit. I'm like, "No, yo." I'm like, I thought she was a part of something though. I used to always come up there with a bottle, and it used to be her and her roommate, or I think her cousin or her sister. It used to be another girl that used to be there. It wasn't the dark skinned chick though that used to be at her place. It used to be her. She had a younger daughter, and then it was also like a friend of hers, some girl or some sister of hers or her cousin or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I just remember I used to come up there with a bottle. I used to always like make sure I was like kind of buzzed before I got my hair braided because that's how much it used to hurt. I don't know, some type of lie been told amongst that lady. She was cool though. Her family was cool. I don't know if some lie was told amongst them. Um, it was this one girl named Martika that I talked to way back in 2015. This is back in like March of 2015, or yep, it was. This was around like February or March 2015. I talked to this one girl named Martika. I remember her sending me a picture like in a dressing room at the mall or something with a red dress on. But like last time I engaged in sex with her, that was in 2015, like February, March of 2015. I ran into her again in like 2016, I think, like the fall of 2016 or like February 2017. But I didn't have sex with her again. She had said one time that it was a possibility she had like trichomoniasis or something. I didn't know if it was true or not. I went and got tested. And I told my ex-girlfriend to go get tested too. As a matter of fact, I went to the emergency room that night. Right after I got that text message. I still remember cussing her out at work when I was at Coca-Cola. But I went to the emergency room and it all came back negative. I went to the ER and then I went to the clinic after that and it came back negative. And I told my ex to do the same thing. I told Mona to do the same thing. Go get tested. Um, I just be trying to figure out what kind of lie I got told, because with all the bullshit that I've been through in the past, some type of lie got told somewhere. Um, it was one time I messed with this one girl that went to FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast University, and after I had sex with her, I was going off on her because I was paranoid that she probably messed around and gave me something, but she was just no, she probably just had a man or something, or she probably had a boyfriend. She just went MIA on me, and it made me paranoid, and there was no reason to even assume that about her. But that was the girl who had called me a super nerd or something like that, or like a super, like a hood nerd or something like that. She went to FGCU. We went to the beach with each other, yo. And she was basically trying to have sex at the beach, but I was like, no, I ain't about to have sex out here, because they was already telling people to get their stuff and leave. And we ended up going back on Canal Street, 2145 Canal Street. And I had sex with her like I was in my mom Ben's truck. I had sex with her on Canal Street, yo. She went to FGCU. Um, it was one time I was parked outside the 7-Eleven that was right across the street from the Coca-Cola warehouse. That used to be where I went to go eat lunch at. And it was a group of girls who got out the car one time. And I was like, what up? Y'all go to FGCU? They ain't say nothing. And I was like, hey, thought. And then she turned around like, I'm not a thought. I'm not a thought. I was like, damn, nigga got to call you a thought to get your attention. This is in 2000. Damn, yo. I think this is in like either late 2015 or early 2006, or like March or April of 2016. I don't remember which one it was. Um, Hopefully that girl didn't make up a lie. All of those girls was white. I ain't gonna lie. It was another girl one time that I cussed out I never had sex with her. She had just joined a sorority though. She had just crossed over. She was cool as hell, but when she crossed over, she completely switched up on me. I remember this. I cussed her out though. Hell, I lied on my dick with her also. I ain't even gonna lie. Um, it's a shame that I be backtracing trying to figure out when was a lie told. Also, my ex Mona, her brother Jamal had stayed in those same exact apartments where that one girl, Brittany or Ashley, had stayed at. Like I said, when I worked at Coca-Cola off of Lico Road, in 75. This dude named Kelvin had a cousin that lived at those same apartments. I think her name was Brittany or Ashley or something like that, yo. And I met her on Thanksgiving. This was either around Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving, but I vividly remember I was supposed to hang out with Mona on Thanksgiving. I called her up, or she called me, and she was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "At the gas station." She was like, "You was some girl," and she hung up. She just said, "You was some girl." Click. And then I called her back, no answer. Called her back, no answer. So in my mind, I was like, "Yeah, she messing with some other nigga. Like, she was just looking for a reason." I ain't even gonna lie. I went through her phone after that, yo. I still remember I went through her phone after that. And I saw her send a text message out to the dude that she was hanging out with. And she sent a text message with an emoji crying face like, "I'ma kill you." And women used to text me that after the sex was good. You know what I'm saying? They used to text me that kind of message like, "I'ma kill you." Like I hate you. You know what I'm saying? I used to get them kind of messages back in the day when I was fucking with some of them ladies that possibly was already with some nigga or something like that. Or they probably wasn't just with somebody. They were just trying to like keep like the shit that me and her was doing discreet. So when I saw that message that she sent to dog, this is like a couple probably days after Thanksgiving. I was like, oh, that's why she hung up. You know what I'm saying? She was messing with that one dude that she knew way before I even met her. I met my ex at the Chinese restaurant, yo. Right around the corner from Gateway Boulevard in the summertime of 2014. So ain't no like I always believed it was this one dude that she used to always be hanging out with at the reggae parties and stuff, and was like having an affair with him. I ain't gonna say the nigga name, but she know exactly who I'm talking about, yo. That was a long time ago. Last I heard, she was somewhere in Jamaica married. So last I heard, my ex Mona was somewhere in Jamaica married to somebody. But she had a brother named Jamal, and Jamal had a wife or a fiance named Chelsea. And Jamal, I still remember the day they moved in that apartment because I helped them move. And I still remember this like it was yesterday, yo, because this was right around the time I moved in the Parker Positano apartments. And I said, I ended up hitting up Mona around that same time. And I was like, hey, I might not make it to help your brother out move or whatever. And I remember her calling me up and cussing me out, saying that it's my fault that her auntie had hit her foot and hurt her foot trying to help my brother, trying to help her brother move. She was like, when it come to my family, I don't play that shit. My auntie hurt her foot trying to help my brother because you didn't help him going. She was going. I still remember this like it was yesterday. Even when I came to their crib, even her auntie didn't give me a hug. She had like basically held her hand out like she was shaking my hand, but didn't want to like give me a hug. So I just felt the energy was off, and that was right when I had signed the lease to move into the Parker Positano apartment, yo. I remember this like it was yesterday. But that same apartment that Jamal stayed in, that girl Brittany or that girl Ashley that was related to her name was Brittany or Ashley that was related to Kelvin, that worked at Coca-Cola. She had lived in that same exact apartment, yo. I don't know if she knew that nigga or not. But like I said, I met that girl right around Thanksgiving time. As a matter of fact, right after Mona hung up the phone on me, I think this was on Thanksgiving, and she was like, where you at? I'm like, at the gas station. I'm at a 7-Eleven right over there on MLK. She was like, you with some girl, click. I went to the Redbone liquor store and then got this girl number right around that time. She was with her homegirl, this light-skinned chick, yo. Her roommate. And then we had sex like a couple days later. Then we had sex a couple more times after that. Then one day I called her up after I got done having sex with her. I'm in the parking lot. I'm like, yo, I'm drunk right now. The police riding around out here. Let me just chill upstairs on the couch for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And she said no. Straight up. She said no. And I took offense to that because I already knew that she thought that I got dropped off there or I took the bus there or you know what I'm saying, or I walked there. So she was looking at me like I was some type of a motherfucking charity case. That's just how I took it. And this was in 2000. This was late 2015. By um April or March of 2000 or February or March of 2016, I saw her at the Walmart grocery store, the Walmart Supercenter, yo. And I just looked over at her. She looked over at me, and I ain't say nothing to her. But after that, that was when it got revealed that me and her had sex, because then she reached out to her cousin Kelvin and asked about me and was asking if I had my own car and all that other stuff. At that time, my car had got totaled because it got shot up, and I was riding around in my mom Benz truck. It was this girl who number I got in February 2017 that worked at the airport, yo. She sent me a picture one time of like a tattoo on her stomach. And that girl was 19. You can't even work at the airport after 10 o'clock if you were under the age of 18. I got her number around like midnight or 1 a.m. or something like that. She was working at the airport, yo. She was working at the airport. This was right on time when I got on the flight and I was leaving from Michigan, because I came back to Michigan to basically visit my dad for his birthday. Me and my sister visited my dad for his birthday in 2017, February 2017. And I got this girl number. She basically said she with her cousin, and I'm like, she pulled up on me like, this was right around the time when I was going through some bullshit with my ex, with my ex Mona. And she told me that she was with her cousin, and she was asking if I wanted to smoke with her cousin. She told me her cousin was like 14, 15. I said, hell no. I said, I was like, she better off staying in the car. But she didn't stay in the car. She stayed in the living room. She sat on the couch in the living room. And me and old girl basically went in the room. And I still to this day, I be saying, God forbid that girl that was sitting on the couch in the living room made some lie up about me, yo. I really hope not, yo. It was times I used to get into an argument with my ex Mona, yo, and then I'll get off work, and she'll have her brother Jamal fiance's daughter at my apartment, and I never saw nothing wrong with that. It used to just be times I'd be like, yo, you need to tell me that ahead of time, because one time, I get off work, I'm basically like going to the bathroom, and then I'm chilling on the bed, you know what I'm saying, watching TV, watching cartoons and stuff, and I still remember her daughter saying, I'm scared. Like, no, I'm scared, because she was basically telling her to like get on the bed a certain way. And it dawned down on me. I was like, my gun is under the bed. I was like, she probably saw my gun. You know what I'm saying? That girl was probably like a little kid at that time. And I said, you got to tell me ahead of time when you do stuff like that. When you invite, like when you have like people over, ain't nothing wrong with that. But you need to just let me know ahead of time, because like my gun was under the bed. I had my main guns in my shoebox at the top shelf of the closet, but I also had like my AR-15 under the bed. And I was like, that's probably why she was saying that. She probably saw that gun under the bed. To be honest, anytime it was kids, like anytime a kid came around my apartment, they couldn't even come in my room. One time, these girls that came in my apartment and smoked, and I just let their son like play around in like the living room area and stuff like that. I was in the room with them, had the music going and stuff. Another time, yo, my little cousin Justin came by. This is in like the summertime of 2018 or the spring of 2018. I grabbed my PlayStation 4 for him to play, because he had came to visit. He took a flight, but I think he took a flight with my auntie Adele or something. The point that I'm making is, man, anytime like I think that's the only time a kid ever stepped foot in my apartment, when these Hispanic girls that came to my apartment one time, my ex Mona, she had her niece with her that one time, and then it was when my little cousin Justin came to visit. He was like a teenager. And I'm also say this too. Well, I already said that before. Like I never like had some gay man in my apartment ever, yo. But I think a lot of lies got told. It was something else I wanted to say, but um, around that same apartment that one girl Brittany stayed at, or Ashley had stayed at, It was this Haitian girl that I also engaged in sex with one time. And I recorded her, but I never uploaded or sent that video to anybody. I actually deleted that video also. But I think a lot of lies got told on me, yo. God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. I don't even think that like I did go through a lot of foul shit with my ex-girlfriend Mona, but I don't think she'll ever go as scandalous as that, to try to use some kid's clothing or something, to put some kid's clothing in my possession. If so, man, look, I don't know how that I'll be able to like look, yo. That I even thought when I was at Gateway Boulevard in Fort Myers, Florida, back in 2014, I ain't even gonna lie. I asked my auntie this. I asked my auntie Ideal this because I thought my auntie Ideal had messed around and grabbed one of my little cousin jailer clothes at one point in time and made up some lie about me. I was really in deep belief that that had happened, yo. It was a lot of foul shit going on, yo. When you go through stuff like that, it's hard to trust anything around you. But man, God forbid my ex Mona took some clothes and did something with it, yo. It was two Ryans that worked at Coca-Cola. It was one dude named Ryan Thomas. He used to always be talking about hooping and shit. You know what I'm saying? He had like a heart condition. He was cool though. He had like a catheter. I still remember this. Um, I don't even know why I just included that. That nigga was cool though. And then the other Ryan that I hung out with, Ryan Green, I kept my distance more as I got older though. Like I said, when I was at the Park of Positano, he never even came to my to that apartment complex over there, yo. I ain't even gonna lie. And I still remember when he hopped in the car that day, like, hey, I heard you fucked the bitch cousin. This is like February 2016. Because that girl that was Kelvin cousin told him, like, yeah, we had sex or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what he's so mad about. Like, ain't nothing to be mad about, nigga. She a grown woman. Like, I got her number. She called me up, told me to come through. We had sex a few times. That was it. To be honest, I feel like I was being generous to even make a public apology because I did call her a bitch. I did like call her name when I asked her if I could basically sleep on her couch for a minute, and she said no. You know what I'm saying? I did call her a bitch. I ain't gonna lie, but I made a public apology about that. But I truly believe that a lot of people, like, man, after I made that public apology, a lot of people came back and just made up lies, yo. Like, I think it's a lot. I don't know if it's that girl. I don't know if Kelvin Cousin came back and lied, or that one girl that I spoke on that I said that I liked her better when she had long hair. I don't know. She made up a lie. I never had sex with her. Tried to. She said no. And that was it after that. I did send her a text message a couple weeks after that, like basically telling her I liked her better with long hair. But I never even so much as like raised my voice at that girl, yo. Never. So if that girl has said something about me that's not true, in my mind, I feel like the only reason why she probably did that is because I kept my cool and was calm about it. But God forbid, like somebody in Fort Myers use some clothes and stuff like that, yo. Especially my ex, Mona. I could never, I could never like. It's certain things some things you just don't do, yo. But that would have came out. I feel like somebody would have told me something by now. But when I was getting my hair, when I was growing my hair out, I first had cornrows, yo. And it was also this girl, I talked about her, I think earlier, this one girl that braided my hair. She had a brother, or he was like her brother, this dude named Ernest that also had worked at the Coca-Cola warehouse. I think Ernest had smoked some shit one time and like something went wrong, or he got into a car accident. Something happened though, because it used to just be times he'd go in and out. Like he'll be coherent 1 second, and then the next second he'll be like in his own world. I don't know, man. Like I never sat down and talked to his pops about like did something ever happen to that man or whatever. I don't know. But it was this one girl that was like his sister. He told me that was like his sister. She braided my hair a couple different times, and yeah, that's it. I never had sex with her. You know what I'm saying? I got her number back in the day, but I never had sex with her. I had got her number around like Halloween time of 2015. And I remember this one girl named Aaliyah and Asia came and hung out with me and Ryan on 2145 Canal Street. I had told my ex to get out like a few minutes before we went inside that apartment. I didn't even go lie. I was like, dip, like get up out of here. I was like, go, you know what I'm saying? Because I had made up a lie and said that my sister Keisha had came from Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was going to get Mona to leave. And then when I pulled up and saw her car was still out there, I was like, why you still in there? Like, leave. You know, I ain't even going to lie. I did do that. You know what I'm saying? But I ended up not even having sex with Asia or Aaliyah. I never had sex with Asia or Aaliyah, yo. I think Ryan ended up having sex with one of them, but I never had sex with them. On that particular day, they both was acting kind of strange, yo. That was the main reason why I never, like, tried to, like, do anything with her again. When I was at the Parker Positano Apartments, I saw Asia in a jacuzzi one day. You know what I'm saying? She was in a jacuzzi, and I just looked over at her, and I just walked up out of the pool area. I ain't even gonna lie. Because that was, like, right after her sister had slashed my tires. So I took it like maybe she trying to, like, come and, like, holler at me now or, you know what I'm saying, reason with me in some type of way. And I ain't gonna lie, Asia was attractive. She was thick as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I was just like, nah, yo. I was like, nah. Like, you ain't about to do me like that. Like, your sister came over and slashed my tires and scratched my car up. She had no reason to do that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like I cussed her out or did anything. It was like literally nothing. One day she said, I walked into Circle K and I was just joking with her. She was like, don't play with me today. You know what I'm saying? I had you trespass. And I was like, what? I was like, I ain't got to be in here. I remember this. I was like, I ain't got to be in here. I laughed. I was like, you know who you talking to? I ain't got to be in here. Like, you trespass me, you'll be doing me a favor. And then not too long after that, I started messing with this girl, Gigi. She drove in that apartment complex and had that girl slash my tires, yo. Like, all of this. And with all of this being said that I just spoke on, all of this was 10 years ago, yo. My tires got slashed in 2000, what, 17? 8 years ago? December 23rd, 2017. Just shy of being 8 years ago, you know what I'm saying? That was a long time ago. So, I just going down the line trying to figure out where the lie was told, who told the lie, when the lie was told. I don't know if I'm ever know for sure, but I just went through all of this because a real fucked up ass lie was told about me and nobody came and talked to me directly. They just chose to basically play a fucked up ass cyber hacking game and they said we go keep him away from actually being heard. And I truly believe this happened to me, what I'm about to say. I truly believe the whole time I was at the testimonial shelter, it was a whole team of people hacking my fucking phone and messaging people all day, every single day, talking shit to celebrities, talking shit to a lot of people, and then look at me right in my face and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. When I say, is there something negative being said about me? Do you know how easy it is to convince somebody a lie? That's why I said at this point in time, if there's a celebrity that really believe that they held a conversation with me, it's somebody around them that they cannot trust. It's somebody around them that's basically playing like both sides of the middle. And I'm talking about all celebrities. If there's a celebrity who believe that they've been actually conversing back and forth with me, there's somebody around them that they cannot trust, yo. That's real shit. And that's for all celebrities. I mean, I sent them a couple messages in my day. I mean, in my life, I said in my day, like I'm old as hell. I sent a couple messages in this past year to the rapper Lotto, and I just said, I feel like God talking to me about you. I sent a whole lot more messages to Sis. I ain't gonna lie about that. Never got a response. I sent a lot of YouTube links out in the past. I wasn't even expecting a response when I sent out a lot of YouTube links to people. I was just sending out stuff to letting it be known, like, this is what's going on, because I thought at one point in time people was trying to frame me and get me, like, set up and get me put in jail or sabotage me. But when I started stressing for real about family members of mine looking different, I started praying that God keep them safe, healthy, and alive, my family and stuff like that. Other people saw that as a weakness, and most definitely look what happened. A lot of people took advantage of like what I'm stressing over and stuff like that. And still to this fucking day, my phone hacked. fucking phone is hacked, yo. I don't know what kind of lie was told. I be doing my best to try to figure out. This one dude named Wade I used to be cool with back in the day, yo. I remember he had a sister that worked at the Costco across the street in Gulf Coast Town Center. I don't know. Like, I remember, I don't even know. I just brought that up. I used to take the bus to Coca-Cola, and I used to always like go to Gulf Coast Town Center. I saw him in the parking lot one time. I don't know. I used to get ladies' numbers at Florida Gulf Coast University, FGCU, back when I was 23 and 24, when I was 24 years old, riding a bus. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if some type of lie was told about me around that time. I'm not certain. I remember I got this Jamaican girl number one time, but they ain't go nowhere. I never talked to her again. That was like right when the fall semester started. I don't know, yo. It was just a lot of weird stuff going on. Somebody been stalking me for a long time, and it's not a family member. Somebody been stalking me for a very long time, yo, throwing dirt on my name. Jealous and mad to see me even progress and do anything positive in life. That's what make me so fucking mad when I think about the thought of some gay men running around feeling like they can play with me like that, feeling like I can just be subject to that kind of shit. That's why I said if it's some gay dude running around lying on me, it's definitely people protecting them. And it's not like a cousin or something, or it could be a cousin, but it's not just that. It's somebody who got a more powerful position, yo. Or if it's some lady making up a lie. But God forbid, you know, I just hope that ain't nobody. I hope Mona ain't take some clothes or something to use some clothes or some little girl clothes or something like that. Somewhere down the line, a lie was told though. A real messed up lie was told. It's 5:27 a.m. November 12, 2025.